Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. Hey there, I'm so excited you're here today because we're diving into a topic that's going to challenge the way you think about relationships, self-mastery, and emotional balance through the lens of Stoicism. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by emotions like anger, fear, or even intense desire in your relationships, or if you've struggled to maintain your sense of self while connecting with others, this video is for you. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that's still incredibly relevant today, offers a powerful framework for living a virtuous, balanced life. And it has some unique insights when it comes to how men can navigate their relationships sparkly with women. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that we have no control over external things, other people, events, or circumstances. The only thing we can truly control is ourselves, our judgments, decisions, and actions. By focusing on what's within our power and accepting what isn't with calmness and equanimity, we can achieve a state of inner peace that's unshaken by life's ups and downs. One of the main goals of Stoicism is to overcome destructive emotions, think anger, envy, fear, or lust that cloud our minds and prevent us from acting rationally. Stoics believe these emotions often stem from irrational beliefs about what's good or bad, and by examining and correcting those beliefs, we can free ourselves from their grip. When it comes to relationships, Stoicism encourages us to treat everyone with kindness, justice, and respect, regardless of their gender, status, or background. But it also offers a word of caution. Our desires and attachments, especially in romantic contexts, can lead us astray if we're not careful. For men, Stoicism provides a unique perspective on how to approach relationships with women, not by being cold or distant, but by practicing self-mastery, discretion, and rational independence. In this video, we're going to explore one specific aspect of Stoic philosophy that's particularly relevant for men: the 8 things a Stoic man should never reveal to a woman. Now, before you jump to conclusions, this isn't about secrecy, deception, or outdated gender norms. It's about understanding human nature, maintaining your dignity, and cultivating a balanced, virtuous relationship that honors both your integrity and hers. So let's dive into these 8 Stoic principles and see how they can help you become a stronger, more grounded man while fostering healthier connections. Let's begin by exploring the Stoic perspective on a man's weaknesses, a concept that serves as a profound litmus test for his character and inner fortitude. In the philosophy of Stoicism, weaknesses are not something to be buried or denied. They are a natural part of the human experience, yet they demand a response rooted in virtue, not vulnerability. Stoicism doesn't advocate for emotional suppression or the pretense of invincibility. Rather, it calls for a man to confront his challenges with a serene, rational mind, embodying virtues such as patience, endurance, and unyielding resilience. A Stoic man refrains from airing his struggles publicly, even to those nearest to him, like a romantic partner, not out of shame, but from a deep understanding that true strength lies in self-reliance, not in seeking external solace or sympathy. He taps into an inner reservoir of fortitude, recognizing that resilience isn't found in the validation of others, but in the quiet, steadfast resolve that he cultivates within himself. So why does a Stoic man choose to keep his weaknesses private? This choice isn't about concealing his true self or projecting a fakedites, about fostering a profound sense of self-sufficiency that defines Stoic wisdom. In today's world, where oversharing and the pursuit of pity have become almost cultural norms, Stoicism offers a countercultural path, the art of enduring hardship with silent dignity. This isn't a rejection of emotion or an avoidance of pain. It's a deliberate decision to face struggles with grace, transforming adversity into a crucible for personal growth. Imagine, for instance, that you've hit a rough patch in your career, perhaps a long-anticipated promotion slipped through your fingers. A Stoic man wouldn't rush to unload his frustrations on his partner, hoping she'll soothe his wounded ego. Instead, he'd take a step back, reflect deeply on the situation, and separate what he can control from what he cannot. He might ask himself, can I improve my skills? Can I seek feedback to grow? Or must I simply accept this outcome and find peace in it? By focusing on actionable steps and maintaining his composure, he turns a setback into an opportunity for self-betterment, all while preserving his inner calm. The Stoic approach profoundly shapes how a man presents himself in a relationship, exuding a quiet, magnetic strength that speaks volumes. By not relying on his partner to constantly shoulder his emotional burdens, he demonstrates a maturity and independence that are deeply compelling. He's not ignoring his struggles or pretending they don't exist, simply choosing to address them with poise, ensuring he doesn't overwhelm his partner with negativity. Stoicism teaches that every challenge, no matter how daunting, is a chance to forge a stronger, more virtuous self. Weaknesses, in this light, are not flaws to be ashamed of, but raw materials for building character opportunities, to refine resilience, patience, and wisdom. By keeping his weaknesses private, a Stoic man isn't hiding his humanity. He's showcasing his ability to master it, proving that he can navigate life's trials with a steady hand and a clear mind. This practice of silent resilience not only strengthens his spirit, but also fosters a relationship dynamic built on mutual respect, where he stands as a pillar of stability, capable of facing life's storms with unwavering dignity. Building on the Stoic man's approach to his weaknesses, let's now turn our attention to how he handles his mysticessa process that transforms errors into profound opportunities for wisdom and growth. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, mistakes are not mere oversights to be regretted or swept under the rug. They are invaluable stepping stones on the journey towards self-improvement and a deeper understanding of life. A Stoic man neither shies away from his missteps nor broadcasts them for the world to see, particularly in a way that could be misconstrued as incompetence or fragility. This isn't about hiding out of embarrassment or fear of judgment. It's about recognizing that mistakes are deeply personal learning experiences, best processed through introspection rather than public disclosure. By keeping his errors private, especially in the context of a romantic relationship, he ensures that his growth remains a focused, internal endeavor, free from external misinterpretation or unnecessary pity. Consider a scenario where you've made a significant financial blunder, perhaps an impulsive investment, that resulted in a substantial loss. A Stoic man wouldn't immediately confide in his partner, seeking sympathy or hoping she'd absolve his guilt. Instead, he'd approach the situation with a blend of humility and diligence, sitting down to carefully dissect what went wrong. He'd ask himself probing questions. What led to this decision? Did I act on emotion rather than reason? How can I prevent this in the future? With a clear and rational mind, he'd take full responsibility for his actions, focusing on corrective measures, whether that means adjusting his financial strategy, seeking expert advice, or cultivating greater discipline in his decision-making. This process of self-reflection and self-correction is a hallmark of Stoic practice, allowing him to distill valuable lessons from his errors and emerge wiser and more capable. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus captured this principle beautifully when he said, "It is not the things that happen to us that trouble us, but our opinions about them." This insight lies at the heart of the Stoic approach to mistakes. It's not the error itself that defines its impact, but how we choose to interpret and respond to it. By keeping his mistakes private, a Stoic man creates the space he needs to engage in this introspective work, without the interference of external opinions or emotional reactions. He's not concealing his imperfections to appear flawless, safeguarding his ability to learn and grow in a way that's authentic and self-directed. In a relationship, this approach radiates maturity and self-reliance, qualities that foster trust and admiration. You're not pretending to be perfect, nor are you burdening your partner with every misstep. Instead, you're showing that you're a man who owns his actions, learns from his failures, and emerges stronger because of them. The Stoic practice of handling mistakes with quiet determination has a ripple effect on how you show up in your relationships. It demonstrates that you're not defined by your errors, but by your ability to rise above them. Using each mistake as a catalyst for personal growth, you're not seeking validation or reassurance to soothe your ego. You're taking charge of your development, proving that you're a man committed to wisdom and virtue. This unwavering commitment to self-improvement, rooted in Stoic principles, makes you a pillar of strength and reliability, someone who can navigate life's inevitable missteps with grace and purpose. Having explored the Stoic man's approach to his weaknesses and mistakes, Let's now delve into how he handles his dreams and aspirations, a realm where Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective grounded in realism, self-sufficiency, and inner clarity. For a Stoic man, dreams are not whimsical fantasies or lofty illusions that fuel escapism. They are purposeful pursuits deeply rooted in his core values, capabilities, and a clear-eyed understanding of what truly matters. However, he exercises a deliberate restraint when it comes to sharing these dreams, particularly with a romantic partner, not out of secrecy or mistrust, but to shield his ambitions from the pitfalls of vanity and the often distracting lure of external validation. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what lies within our control, and for a Stoic man, the pursuit of his dreams is an intensely personal odyssey, guided by his own inner compass rather than the opinions or expectations of others. Picture this: you've been nurturing a dream of launching your own business venture that aligns with your passions and long-term vision. A Stoic man wouldn't rush to lay out every detail of this dream to his partner, especially in its formative stages. This isn't about hiding his aspiration or Hannah, it's about safeguarding his focus and maintaining the purity of his purpose. He understands that seeking validation or approval from others, even someone as close as a partner, can lead to distraction, doubt, or dependency on external praise, all of which can derail him from his true path. Instead, he channels his energy into actionable steps that bring him closer to his goal, whether that's researching the market, developing a business plan, or saving capital, all while finding deep fulfillment in the process itself, not in someone else's recognition or encouragement. His satisfaction comes from the alignment of his actions with his values, not from the applause of an audience. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," a powerful reminder that true contentment stems from within, not from external accolades. By keeping his dreams private, a Stoic man ensures that his ambitions remain anchored in his own principles, untainted by the sway of others' expectations or judgments. This approach reflects a profound self-reliance, allowing him to pursue his goals with unwavering clarity and focus, free from the pressure of outside voices that might plant seeds of doubt or shift his priorities. In a relationship, this discretion reveals a quiet, magnetic confidence, or a man with a clear purpose, yet you don't feel the need to broadcast it to affirm your worth. This self-assuredness is compelling. It shows that you're driven by an internal sense of direction, not by a need for approval, which can often dilute one's resolve. Moreover, the Stoic practice fosters a dynamic in your relationship that's built on mutual respect and independence. By not oversharing your dreams, you avoid placing the burden of emotional support or validation on your partner, which can sometimes create unintended pressure or dependency. Instead, you present yourself as a man who is self-directed and grounded, capable of pursuing his ambitions with discipline and focus. This not only strengthens your character, but also enhances your aloreu. Become a figure of stability and determination, someone who inspires admiration through action rather than words. In embracing this Stoic principle, you cultivate a life of purpose and fulfillment, driven by your own values and unswayed by the need for external affirmation. Continuing our exploration of the Stoic man's approach to self-mastery, having covered his weaknesses, mistakes, and dreams, let's now turn to how he navigates his feelings, a domain where Stoicism provides a deeply nuanced and often misunderstood perspective that can transform relationships. Far from the common misconception that Stoicism demands emotional suppression, a Stoic man fully acknowledges his feelings, embracing them with a keen sense of awareness and mindfulness. He views emotions not as adversaries to be silenced, but as vital signals that offer insights into his inner state, serving as tools for self-understanding and growth. However, he exercises careful discretion in how and when he expresses these emotions, especially within the context of a romantic relationship. This restraint isn't about emotional distance or coldness, it's about maintaining a rational, composed demeanor that fosters harmony and mutual benefit for both himself and his partner. Stoicism teaches that while emotions are an inherent part of the human experience, they should never be allowed to hijack reason or dictate actions in a way that clouds judgment. A Stoic man understands this balance intimately. For instance, Imagine he's had a particularly grueling day at work. Perhaps a project fell apart due to circumstances beyond his control, leaving him frustrated and on edge. Rather than venting his irritation to his partner or letting his emotions erupt in a way that might create tension, he takes a deliberate step back. He might retreat to a quiet space to reflect, asking himself, "Why am I feeling this way? Is this frustration rooted in something I can change, or must I accept it?" He could turn to journaling to process his thoughts, engage in a brief meditation to restore his calm, or focus on practical solutions to the issue at hand. By doing so, he ensures that his emotions don't spill over into the relationship in a way that might strain the dynamic, preserving the peace and understanding that define a healthy partnership. This intentional approach to emotional expression ensures that a Stoic man's feelings never overshadow his rationality, a principle that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. He recognizes that constantly unloading raw emotions or indulging in unchecked venting can come across as erratic or overwhelming, potentially sowing seeds of conflict or misunderstanding in a relationship. Instead, he chooses to communicate his feelings in a way that's thoughtful and constructive, of sharing his frustrations later in a calm, measured way, focusing on what he's learned or how he plans to move forward. This balance between emotional depth and rational control not only strengthens his own character, but also makes him a steady, dependable partner. His partner sees a man who can weather life's storms without losing his composure, someone who brings clarity and stability to the relationship rather than chaos. In practicing this Stoic principle, a man cultivates a dynamic where emotional intelligence and rational balance coexist, creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. He's not bottling up his feelings to appear stoic in the modern sense as mastering them, ensuring they serve a purpose rather than dominate his actions. This approach allows him to navigate life's challenges with a calm, unwavering presence, offering his partner a sense of security and reliability. By integrating emotional awareness with rational decision-making, a Stoic man becomes a pillar of strength in his relationship, capable of fostering deep connection without sacrificing the clarity and composure that define his Stoic path. As we continue our journey through the Stoic man's approach to self-mastery, having examined his weaknesses, mistakes, dreams, and feelings, let's now shift our focus to how he handles his secrets, a realm where Stoic philosophy emphasizes the virtues of discretion, dignity, and profound respect for the inner self. In Stoic thought, personal secrets are not mere pieces of hidden information, they are sacred reflections of a man's inner world, encompassing his thoughts, experiences, and private struggles. A Stoic man holds the sanctity of his privacy in high regard, not because he harbors something sinister or shameful, but because he understands that not every facet of his life needs to be laid bare, even to someone as intimate as a romantic partner. This approach isn't rooted in secrecy for its own sake. Rather, it's a deliberate practice of maintaining personal dignity and honoring the boundaries that define both his own inner world and the privacy of others. Discretion stands as a cornerstone virtue in Stoic philosophy, guiding the Stoic man in how he navigates his secrets with integrity and care. He steadfastly avoids indulging in gossip, slander, or the betrayal of confidence, whether they are his own or those entrusted to him by others. Consider a situation where he is grappling with a sensitive family issue, perhaps a conflict involving a sibling that's deeply personal and unresolved. A Stoic man might choose to keep the details of this matter private, even from his partner, not because he lacks trust in her, but because he respects the privacy of those involved and values his own emotional boundaries. By exercising this restraint, he ensures that his inner world remains a space of reflection and growth, untainted by external judgment or unnecessary exposure. This commitment to discretion reflects not only his honor, but also his trustworthiness, qualities that are fundamental to the Stoic character and that elevate his moral standing in the eyes of those around him. The Stoic orator Cicero once profoundly stated, "The most sacred thing in the world is the human soul," a sentiment that encapsulates the Stoic reverence for the inner self, which includes one's thoughts, experiences, and secrets. By safeguarding his secrets, A Stoic man honors the sanctity of his own soul while simultaneously respecting the dignity of others. In a relationship, this practice fosters a foundation of mutual respect and trust. He's not oversharing in a way that might cross personal boundaries, nor is he shutting his partner out in a cold or distant manner. Instead, he's demonstrating a deep commitment to privacy and integrity, showing that he values the sacredness of personal space, both his own and hers. This balance creates a dynamic where trust can flourish, as his partner sees a man who is thoughtful, principled, and capable of maintaining confidences with care. Moreover, the Stoic approach to secrets strengthens the connection in a relationship by cultivating an atmosphere of respect and understanding. By not revealing every detail of his inner world, a Stoic man avoids placing unnecessary burdens on his partner, allowing the relationship to remain a space of mutual support rather than emotional dependency. He shows that he can manage his private matters with wisdom and self-reliance, which in turn deepens his partner's trust in his character. Through this practice of discretion, a Stoic man not only preserves his own dignity, but also sets a powerful example of how to honor the sacredness of the human soul, creating a relationship dynamic that is grounded in respect, trust, and a shared appreciation for personal boundaries. Following our exploration of the Stoic man's approach to his weaknesses, mistakes, dreams, feelings, and secrets, let's now examine how he confronts his pains, a domain where Stoicism offers a transformative perspective that turns suffering into a powerful catalyst for resilience and inner growth. In Stoic philosophy, pain is not something to be feared, avoided, or lamented. It is a natural part of the human experience, one that provides a unique opportunity to cultivate strength, fortitude, and a deeper sense of tranquility. A Stoic man refrains from openly displaying his pains, particularly within the context of a romantic relationship, not because he's in denial or seeking to project an image of invulnerability, but because he chooses to face them with grace and endurance. This approach isn't about pretending everything is finite, it's about transcending suffering, rising above its immediate sting, and maintaining an unshakable inner peace, even amidst life's most trying moments. Imagine you're grappling with a persistent physical injury, perhaps a chronic back issue that flares up after long hours at work, causing you ongoing discomfort. A Stoic man wouldn't turn to his partner to complain endlessly, seeking sympathy or hoping she'd alleviate his burden with comforting words. Instead, he'd bear the pain with quiet patience, focusing on what he can control to manage it, whether that means committing to rest, exploring physical therapy, or adopting a mindful approach to his daily movements. Remarkably, he might even find a sense of joy in the challenge, viewing it as a test of his character and an opportunity to grow. He recognizes that enduring pain with grace is not a sign of weakness, but a transformative process that forges resilience and depth of spirit. The Stoic philosopher Seneca encapsulated this ethos when he wrote, "Fire tests gold, and misfortune tests brave men," a powerful metaphor that underscores how challenges like pain serve as crucibles, revealing and refining a man's true strength. A Stoic man embraces this test wholeheartedly, seeing it as a chance to prove his mettle and emerge stronger. This Stoic approach to pain has a profound impact on how a man shows up in his relationships, radiating a quiet resilience that commands respect and admiration. By choosing not to focus on his pains or let them dominate the narrative, he avoids burdening his partner with negativity or emotional weight, instead presenting himself as a steady, grounded presence. This doesn't mean he never shares when he's struggling. Stoicism isn't about bottling up emotions, but when he does, he communicates in a way that's constructive, focusing on solutions rather than complaints. For instance, he might say, "I've been dealing with some back pain lately, so I'm starting physical therapy to get stronger," rather than dwelling on the discomfort itself. This mindset showcases his ability to handle life's difficulties with a cheerful, composed demeanor, reinforcing his role as a reliable partner who can navigate adversity without crumbling. In a relationship, this Stoic resilience fosters a deep sense of trust and respect, as his partner witnesses a man who can weather life's storms with unwavering strength. He becomes a pillar of stability, someone who doesn't let pain dictate his mood or actions, but instead uses it as a stepping stone for personal growth. By transforming suffering into an opportunity for strength, a Stoic man not only deepens his own character, but also creates a relationship dynamic rooted in mutual confidence, where his partner can rely on him to face life's challenges with grace and fortitude. Having journeyed through the Stoic man's approach to his weaknesses, mistakes, dreams, feelings, secrets, and pains, let's now turn our attention to how he engages with his pleasuresser realm, where Stoicism champions the virtues of temperance, moderation, and self-control. Particularly within the context of relationships, a Stoic man doesn't shy away from life's pleasures, whether they come in the form of savoring a delicious meal, enjoying a soul-stirring piece of music, or sharing moments of intimacy with his partner. However, he approaches these joys with a mindful caution, ensuring they never become masters over him. Stoicism teaches that indulging in excess can lead to dependency, distraction, or even corruption, pulling him away from the higher pursuit of virtue and self-mastery that defines his path. Instead, he engages with pleasures in a way that enhances his life without compromising his principles, keeping them in check through reason and restraint. Consider, for example, a simple pleasure like enjoying a glass of fine wine after a long, demanding day. A Stoic man wouldn't elevate this ritual to the centerpiece of his existence, nor would he flaunt it in a way that suggests his happiness hinges on it. He'd savor the wine with intention, appreciating its rich flavors and the moment of relaxation it brings, but he'd stop well short of overindulgence, aware of the fine line between enjoyment and excess. Moreover, he'd be thoughtful about how he presents this pleasure to his partner, avoiding any impression that his well-being depends on external indulgences. His goal is to demonstrate that he is the master of his desires, not their servant, a man who can partake in life's joys without being consumed by them. This mindful engagement ensures that his pleasures remain a source of enrichment, rather than a potential pitfall, aligning with his commitment to a life of balance and rationality. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus profoundly captured this principle when he stated, "Freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire." This insight lies at the heart of the Stoic approach to pleasure. True freedom and fulfillment come not from surrendering to every impulse, but from mastering them with discipline and wisdom. By keeping his pleasures private and balanced, a Stoic man exemplifies self-control and rationality, qualities that make him a steady, dependable partner. He's not denying himself the joys of life, far from it, but he's ensuring that those joys serve him, enhancing his existence without derailing his pursuit of virtue or clouding his judgment. In a relationship, this approach creates a dynamic of stability and trust, as his partner sees a man who can enjoy life's pleasures without being ruled by them. He doesn't rely on external delights to define his happiness, which frees him from the risk of dependency or hedonism. Instead, he brings a grounded presence to the relationship, one that's rooted in self-discipline and a clear sense of purpose. This balance allows him to share in life's joys with his partner while maintaining his autonomy, fostering a connection that's both vibrant and stable. Through this Stoic practice of moderation, a man not only preserves his own integrity, but also becomes a reliable, admirable partner who can navigate life's temptations with wisdom and restraint. Finally, let's talk about love, a topic that Stoicism approaches with a unique blend of depth and rationality. A Stoic man loves deeply and genuinely, but he does so in a way that's free from excessive attachment or dependence. He sees love as an emotion that should be guided by wisdom, not a force that blinds him or compromises his autonomy. This doesn't mean he's cold or unemotional. It means he loves with reason, respect, and independence, creating a balanced, healthy relationship. For a Stoic man, love isn't about losing yourself in another person or clinging to them for validation. It's about mutual respect, dignity, and equal partnership where both individuals can grow independently while supporting each other. He doesn't demand love or place unrealistic expectations on his partner. Instead, he appreciates the love he receives as a gift, not a right, and he shows his love through actions, not just words, through consistent care, understanding, and support rather than constant declarations. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer. In the context of love, this means staying true to your principles, even when emotions run high. A Stoic man doesn't let his love lead him to act against his values, remains rational and virtuous, ensuring that his relationship is built on a foundation of mutual respect. By keeping his love grounded in reason, he creates a dynamic that's both passionate and stable, showing his partner that he's a man of integrity who can love deeply without losing himself. There you have it, 8 things a Stoic man should never reveal to a woman: his weaknesses, mistakes, dreams, feelings, secrets, pains, pleasures, and love. But let's be clear, this isn't about lying, deceiving, or being emotionally distant. It's about being honest and loyal while also practicing discretion and modesty. It's about being warm and affectionate while remaining rational and independent. It's about being a man, not a boy, a man who embodies courage, wisdom, integrity, strength, honor, joy, moderation, and love. By keeping these aspects private, a Stoic man isn't hiding who he is, revealing his true self. He's showing that he's capable of mastering his emotions, learning from his mistakes, pursuing his dreams with focus, and loving with reason. He's demonstrating that his virtue is the foundation of his life, and that's what makes him a truly admirable partner. The Stoic way of living and loving isn't easy. It requires discipline, reflection, and a commitment to self-improvement, but it's also incredibly rewarding, leading to a life of inner peace, fulfillment, and meaningful relationships. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to dive deeper into Stoicism and see how it can transform your life. We're here to help you on that journey. So if you want more insights and tips on applying Stoic principles to your daily life, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon to get notified of our new videos. We'll be sharing more ways to achieve happiness, peace of mind, and self-mastery, so you don't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and remember, the only thing you need to be happy is yourself. Stay grounded, stay virtuous, and I'll see you in the next video.